Today, I want to help you understand where to list your vacation rental property. So you want to own a vacation rental property. Matter of fact, this segment of real estate has been growing significantly over the last few years. But understanding where to list your property can be an absolute game changer. So by the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to list your property and give you some tips and hacks that will really separate your vacation rental property from all the other ones out there. So what determines a great vacation rental property versus some other ones that aren't performing very well? One of the biggest pieces of that puzzle is where do you advertise or where do you list your vacation rental property? How many eyes can you get on that piece of property? So today, we're going to dive into that topic by first understanding how these platforms work. Secondly, I want to go through those platforms, but also show you alternative ways to market your vacation rental property. And finally, I want to give you some tips on how to market and advertise your vacation rental property that will set you on the path for success right from the get-go. If you're ready, let's go. So let's go over what are the most important, influential, popular platforms out there to list and advertise your vacation rental property. Well, number one on everybody's list is Airbnb. Right? It's the largest one out there. You've seen the commercial. One of my favorite commercials out there right now is the one where they say, hey, you go to a hotel room and your bedtime is the same time as your kids when they go to bed. But with an Airbnb, their bedtimes might be different than yours. You can separate, you can relax and decompress. I actually experienced this last night. I had my family travel with me, and as we were going to bed, I was starting to go to sleep. All of a sudden, I hear my 16-year-old son start to snore, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I would love to be in a different room at this point. But we're in a hotel room. Anyway, that commercial from Airbnb really stood out to me and made me think, wow, how I'd really love to be in an Airbnb right now. So Airbnb obviously is popular. They've got the funds to advertise and attract people and get people like myself thinking that they'd rather be there than where they're at in a hotel room. But Airbnb is massive, right? It takes homes that you're looking to rent out and it facilitates that with people that are looking to go on vacation, and it does everything. It advertises over 6 million properties worldwide, and it does everything from the guest experience to the payments to the reviews to the facilitating of connecting homeowners with vacationers and allowing all the transaction to happen on their platform. And there's some really cool things that have just came out with Airbnb. Maybe you've seen this on their advertisements or commercials as well. You can actually go search for a feature. Let's say you wanted to find beach property. You type in beach property, it'll pull up beach property. Let's say that you wanted to go skiing, ski in, ski out places. It'll pull up all of those for you. So we do live in an experience economy. People want the experience versus me going to the hotel with my family. I want the experience of going to an Airbnb where I can experience the area more like a local. And Airbnb understands that, so they're allowing you to search on their platform by experience. That's why they're the number one, the most important platform out there when listing and advertising your vacation rental property. So financially, how does it work? Well, Airbnb charges the host 3 to 5% of the amount of rent that is charged. If you have a strict cancellation policy, it's going to charge a lot more, up to maybe 10, 15%, depending on how strict your cancellation policy is. Now, if your cancellation policy is similar to what they suggest, they're just going to charge you 3 to 5%. Now, on the other side, if you're a guest booking an Airbnb, they're going to charge you anywhere from 12 to 16% of the cost to rent that place. Now, the second one is Vrbo, VRBO, Vacation Rental by Owner. It is the second largest platform. They host over 2 million properties and very similar to Airbnb. They handle everything. They don't have some of the cool features like searching for experiences, but they do connect and manage the whole process from the guest booking the property to the check-in, to the review, to the communication. It's all handled on their platform, very similar to Airbnb. And financially, how does that work? VRBO charges 5% to the host and a 3% payment processing fee. And on the other side of it, if you're a guest checking in, they charge you 12 to 16%, same as Airbnb. Now, there's other platforms out there like Expedia, HomeAway, Homestay, Booking.com that you can list your property. But I would say about 90%, 95% of all the bookings I've ever seen on our properties have been through Airbnb and VRBO. And there are other places to list your properties, especially if you utilize a full service property management company. Now, some people do that because they value their time more than anything else. So you can enlist a full service property management company out there, and there's a lot out there. Almost every area that has vacation rentals will most likely have a full service property management company that does this full time. But they charge quite a bit of money, anywhere from 10 to 40%. But they have a lot of different resources they can utilize to market and advertise your property, either their own website or even, I know one that we use in Island Park, Idaho, Cabino. They say that they advertise over 27 different platforms. Now, I don't know what those ones are, And I don't know if that's part of the sales pitch, but they do a great job. And our vacation rental there close to Yellowstone stays pretty booked most of the time and receive quite a bit of revenue from it. So they do an amazing job. And there's other groups out there like that. You have the half service property management companies like Evolve and Vacasa that might charge 10 to 25%. Evolve charges 10. That's the property management company we used when we first got our place in Blue Ridge, Georgia. And they do a great job, but they only do half the service, half the management. Now, what does that mean? It means that they deal with the booking, they deal with the payment, and they deal with reviews, and then they communicate to you as the homeowner. Now, what do you have to do as a homeowner that they don't do? Well, you handle all of the cleanings, all the guest turnover, the maintenance, the handyman. A lot of those things will fall on your plate, but they do have connections. They have recommendations on cleaners to use, handyman. And so they're a great option as well for somebody who says, I don't know where to book it, I don't have time to book it, or answer all of these questions from inquiries that come in. Evolve or Vacasa will do that for you, but you just handle the guest turnover. Now, some people like to do it themselves. They're a do-it-yourselfer. They want to self-manage. One thing you can do to list and advertise your property is your own website. The property that we own in Orlando, Florida, close to Disney World, we have our own website, dynamitevilla.com. And we actually get quite a few bookings from that. I even know organizations and people that own vacation rental properties that have their own Instagram page or Facebook page specifically for that property, right? And they've had people inquire that just because they're checking out the area, and that's one of the things that pops up. So can you get bookings without having to pay some of the fees associated with Airbnb and Vrbo by having your own website or your own social media page? Absolutely, and I'd recommend doing so. So now that you know all the places to advertise your vacation rental property, how do you set it apart? Well, one of the first things and some of the best advice I ever received was make sure when you buy a vacation rental property that you buy something that is unique. It either has unique features or it has unique amenities with the property, or it has everything that people want, like a hot tub, a fire pit, right? Access to amenities around the area, right? Or, for example, the home we have in Blue Ridge, Georgia, one of the things that really drew us to this property is the views. It is about exactly the 14-15 minutes that it needs to be from downtown Blue Ridge, Georgia, but it's up a little ways in the mountains. Matter of fact, you go up the road to the property and it forks off, and we're the second home from the end, and the views of this property are absolutely amazing from all three levels on our home. When the sun sets, you get that blue hue of the Blue Ridge Mountains and the orange and yellow from the sun setting. It's absolutely spectacular. And that is something that you can never get rid of, never change for that property. So having that in a very saturated area like Blue Ridge, Georgia, allows us to set our property apart. So you want to find a property that has something unique about it, or put unique amenities. We've tried to do cool things in vacation rental properties that we own. I've even Googled, like, what are the coolest things that people have talked about when renting a vacation rental property? Everything from an ice cream machine. We have hot dog rollers in some of our vacation rentals that the kids really like. And we've even got some themed rooms in our Orlando vacation rental property that people have just raved about. So doing those type of things to set it apart, adding amenities, is going to be something that will allow you to advertise your property. And pretty soon, if you have enough things that attract people and that they find unique and they really like, they're going to do the advertising for you by their reviews and telling people about it. And things that I just mentioned recently that are also vital, like I said, social media. You need to get on all the social media sites associated with the area where your vacation rental property is. That is where you're going to find last minute bookings. That's where you're going to find potential cleaners, handyman if you need them. We've even had people that need a ride to an airport, and going to that Facebook page is exactly where we found somebody to give a ride to somebody from our vacation rental property to the airport. So being on those pages are vital as well. And the last thing I'll say when you advertise your vacation rental property is make sure from the get-go that you hire a professional photographer to take the absolute best pictures. They make all the world of difference. I promise you, when you look at your vacation rental property, when you list on Airbnb and Vrbo, having nice professional pictures will do more for you advertising your property than probably anything else. Now, these are some things that I've seen work really well. Obviously, when you buy a vacation rental property, you look to advertise one, you've got to have a vacation rental calculator, and I've got one here for you free of charge just for stopping by, watching the video. The link is below, aaronsfreetraining.com. Click on the link. It's the exact same vacation rental property that I've used to analyze all 6 of my vacation rental properties, put in the expenses, and it spits out to you whether it's a good deal. It even gives you the cash on cash return. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Have an amazing day.